can never forget the words, we are all born with a gift, and to use that to create positive change. I think that is something remarkable, that Andrew believes in and he lives by. And of course, it's an inspiration to myself and a lot of young people and other athletes in Trinidad and Tobago. So thank you, Mr. Nicholas, for that. And right up next, we have the president of the Trinidad and Tobago Olympic Committee, Mr. Brian Lewis, to bring his regards.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. You'll forgive me. I will say distinguished ladies and gentlemen rather than all protocols observed in the interest of time. Let me say quickly that when Andrew invited me, I wouldn't tell you when, I had to do some juggling to get here, but I made the extra effort to come because Andrew represents what Team TTO, not Andrew, Team TTO stands for. An indomitable will, a resilience, and a deep commitment to representing this space called Trinidad and Tobago. Ladies and gentlemen, I make no apologies for saying this, and I thought long and hard about saying what I'm going to say, but as I stood next to Douglas Camacho, the man who brought me into the Olympic Committee, and I remembered his words. I had expressed a view about something, and he looked me square in the eye and said, that is why I'm bringing you here, to be the change that you want to see. It is not easy representing this country, Trinidad and Tobago, in sports. Our athletes, regardless of creed, race, ethnicity, class, socioeconomic background, have it very difficult. Many people, including some of you here, don't really appreciate what COVID-19 has done for our athletes, economically, physically, psychologically, emotionally, and mentally. Their commitment in the face of COVID to deal with the uncertainty and unpredictability of an unprecedented public health crisis exemplifies and should be held up to this country as a role model and example. At this point, just qualifying for Tokyo 2020 is an achievement. We have 6 qualifiers. You all will know them, the media will know them. I acknowledge them. And that is one of the reasons I'm here today, to acknowledge Andrew's effort as a qualifier. There is a process, as we all know. They will be nominated, hopefully. We wouldn't have no bacchanal that we have had. Those who have qualified, they'll be nominated by their sporting organizations to the TTOC, who will agree to select them, and the General Council will approve before it becomes official. But they have qualified 6, and we have others trying to qualify against enormous circumstances that you're not paying attention to. Because you know why? This country tends to be superficial. It takes for granted those who unstintedly, unwaveringly, and without fanfare go out and represent the red, white, and black. No apologies, Your Worship. Whenever we travel out of this country, nobody asks us about any politicians. They ask about Hazley Crawford, Dwight York, Brian Lara. They ask, have you heard people asking about Marshall Montano? They ask about our sporting and cultural icons. And we need to do more. Andrew is before us. He's going off thanks to his family, his well-wishers, and his corporate partners. But others, be mindful, and so fortunate. and they are still struggling against the tide with less than 4 months to go. One final thing, and I say this to Andrew and all the athletes representing Team TTO. It is an honor and a privilege. Over the last couple of days, we would have read about Akid Shafi Duke, a 15-year-old who went with his mother to do a job interview, and he was gunned down senselessly. Why I raise that? He's from Nelson Street. He goes to Southeast Port of Spain, and he was a good footballer. How many must die? How many of our talented sports men, women, youth must die before we take sport and the contribution it can make to this country seriously and not pay lip service to it? So, Andrew, on behalf of the Trinidad and Tobago Olympic Committee, we acknowledge that you have qualified for your third, so you'll have to forgive me. I realize I have to be diplomatic and state a process. You have qualified for your third Olympic game, and your story is well known. You are a credit to your sport, your family, the Trinidad and Tobago Olympic Committee, and Trinidad and Tobago. I wish you well, because you are joining the other 6 qualifiers, 5, you make it 6, who have had to leave the shores to be able to adequately prepare. The majority of our athletes have sacrificed their home comfort to be patriotic. Don't disrespect their efforts. Thank you very much, and good luck.